with the workshop number 7. The first speaker is Mr. Monir Ahmadi. He has a few words with you in regards to multimedia freedom of expression online. Over to you. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning to everyone. My name is, as mentioned, Monir Ahmadi. I'm a visiting lecturer at Parwan University and program manager at Internews. I will mainly speak very briefly regarding the freedom of expression online. What we mean by freedom of expression online and what are mainly the legal challenges towards freedom of expression online. I had prepared some slides, so anyway, I will discuss about that. When we discuss about freedom of expression online, mainly there could be two concepts about this. Is it exercising a right, or it is a challenge to the governments? Everyone would have its ideas and comments about that, that it could be a challenge to the governments. It creates a lot of problems rather than using a right or using freedom of expression. But according to international standards and international instruments on freedom of expression and the internet, freedom of expression online or freedom of expression on the internet is a human right. It is a basic and fundamental human right, and it's equal to exercising freedom of expression through traditional media. As freedom of expression is the cornerstone of any society, and it is a condition for the development of a person and community. It is defined that everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression, and this right is a human right. This includes the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers and through any media. When Article 19 of the ICPR defines the freedom of expression and defines that the freedom of expression applies and could be used through any media, from this point, the freedom of expression on internet is recognized. And international standards on freedom of expression applies directly to freedom of expression on the internet as well. The freedom of expression in line with international standards has some key attributes that further illustrates the meaning and concept of the freedom of expression for the governments. For the governments, I mean that those governments that they are state parties to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights or other international documents, they need to consider and observe their international obligations toward promotion and protection of the freedom of expression. The freedom of expression, as mentioned, is a human right, a basic human right, and all human rights are held against states. So freedom of expression is also held against states. It means that states must respect freedom of expression and states must take measures to promote this freedom. It's rights of everyone, like rights of journalists, rights of So, yeah, it's rights of everyone. This is a key attribute and key characteristics for freedom of expression. Everyone, including children, including prisoners, including foreign journalists and government employees, shall be entitled to this right because it's a human right. Freedom of expression has a negative and positive aspect. It means that the negative aspect means that the government should not interfere. And the positive aspect means that government should take positive measures toward promotion of this right. Freedom of expression includes freedom to seek, receive, and impart information. It's not only expressing ideas, it's also receiving and seeking ideas and information, which we say access to information. It applies to all kinds of information. According to international principles, freedom of expression even includes information which is shocking, disturbing, controversial, or it's critical. All information is protected under international standards on freedom of expression. But there could be some certain limitation on freedom of expression in domestic laws. It includes any type of media for expressing or any disseminating tool. It's protected under international standards, which in turn is also a tool for freedom of expression. And it applies regardless of frontiers, and it is not an absolute right. It means that there are some certain limitations. Article 3 of Afghanistan mass media law also defines internet as a tool, as a media. Article 3 mentions that media means the instruments of disseminating messages, news, and information using the following tools, like electronic media, which is radio, TV, and cable network, plus internet. So according to Afghan laws, internet is a media, a tool for expressing ideas. And Article 4 of the mass media law also protects the free activity of expressing tools, media freedom.
2 minutes, please.
2
Wrap
minutes.
it up,
Oh.
yeah.
So, I don't know what to say in 2 minutes. Anyway, I was about to mention about the internet for freedom of expression, which mentioned some, and I was about to discuss about the intermediaries liability. Intermediaries, which all communication over the internet is done through intermediaries, internet intermediaries. And there are 4 types of intermediaries according to international principles, which there is legal framework for it. There is the ISPs, service providers, web hosting or hosts. There is the social media platforms and search engines, which legal protections for all of them are different, and all intermediaries, according to international principle, should be immune from liability. And there are 3 types of regimes for treatment regarding intermediaries liability. The strict liability model, which intermediaries are liable for third-party content found in China and Thailand. There is safe harbor model, which is found in UK, France, and USA. And this model provides intermediaries 50-50 liability and freedom. And there's the broad immunity model, which is again found in European Union, some countries, and Singapore, which intermediaries are not liable for the third-party content. The other key issue on internet freedom of expression online is the filtering and blocking issues. According to international principles, filtering and blocking is an extreme measure toward restricting freedom of expression. Filtering and blocking is similar to banning a newspaper or a magazine in the society. So they are analogous and very similar to banning a newspaper and providing restriction on the freedom of media. And the other thing, access, I hope I have 1 more minute. Not new, it's not newly thing. From long time, it's recognized as a human right, and everyone shall have the right to access to internet. The same as right to freedom of expression, it also, it's coming from the freedom of expression that the tools for expressing ideas should also be a human right and should be accessible to everyone. So governments have the obligation to provide neutral, free internet access, and they have to promote the access to internet as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I would
Thank
like
you.
to take the opportunity and call Mr. Lotfullah Najafizada from Tolo to join the panel, please. I'll make the arrangement for you. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ahmadi, for your presentation on the freedom of expression online. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Danish Karokhel from Pajhwok. You have 5 minutes. Would you like to add to this topic, please?
In which language? Pashto, Dari?
Any language.
Okay.
Any language.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. به اجازه دوستا در پنل، مدیریتور و دوستایی که در اینجا حضور داره، بخش آزادی بیان که آنلاین است به نظر من یک موضوع نو و جدید در افغانستان است. ما مشکلاتی را که در این عرصه داریم میخوایم که به چند تایش اشاره بکنیم. اما مخکې له دې نه زه غواړم هغه پرمختګونه چې په دغه برخه کې سوي دي هغې ته لږ اشاره وکړم. هغه دا ده چې اوس خوشبختانه افغاني رسنۍ، که هغه د موږ ورځپاڼې دي، که هغه د موږ تلویزیونونه دي، که هغه د موږ اژانسونه دي، دوی ټول هڅه او کوشش دا کوي تر څو دوی د ځان لپاره ځانګړې ویبپاڼې ولري او د ټکنالوژي ریلیټډ کوم هغه فرصتونه چې وجود لري یا کوم امکانات چې په دغه برخه کې وجود لري، که هغه د موبایل اپلیکیشنونه جوړول دي، افغاني رسنۍ له دې نه په ډېره ښه توګه ګټه اخلي. او زه ویلی سم چې د منطقې په سطحه یا د سیمې د هیوادونو په سطحه افغاني رسنیو کې د دې هغه فرصت او امکانات وجود لري تر څو دوی وکولی شي چې له دغو پلیټفورمونو څخه، له دغو امکاناتو څخه د خپلو رسنیو د لا پیاوړتیا او د غښتلتیا لپاره کار وکړي. په دې کې شک نشته چې دغه برخه که چیرې د موږ یوه ورځپاڼه خپله د ځان لپاره یوه ویبپاڼه ونه لري، یا دوی خپل اپلیکیشنونه ونه لري، یا دوی د ټولنیزو شبکو ویبپاڼې هغه خپلې پیجونه ونه لري، نو دوی له مارکیټ نه غورځېږي. دوی دغه رقابت ته په کتو باندې یا دغه ستونزې د په کتو باندې دوی غواړي چې خپل سالم رقابت ته دوام ورکړي او هره رسنۍ کوشش کوي تر څو دوی نه یوازې د ټولنیزو شبکو نه بلکې د خپلو ویبپاڼو نه بلکې د اپلیکیشنونو نه ګټه واخلي او خپل هغه اډینس او لیدونکي نه یوازې له لاسه ورنکړي بلکې زیاتې کړي. فکر کوم تقریبا 4-5 کاله مخکې له ځینو رسنیو سره دا ویره او تشویش و که چیرې اوس مثلا دغه ټولنیزو شبکې دغومره په اصطلاح پراخوالی مومي، دغومره پراخه کیږي، نو دوی به د خپلو ورځپاڼو هغه په اصطلاح خپل لوستونکي له لاسه ورکړي. نو دغه یو تهدید، یو ګواښ، خصوصا د موږ د چاپي مطبوعاتو لپاره. د همدې لپاره د موږ هره چاپي رسنۍ چې هغه کې ډېری ورځپاڼې په دې باندې وتوانېدلې چې دوی د ځان لپاره ویبپاڼې ولري، هغه مطالب چې دوی د پرنټ په شکل خپلو لوستونکو ته وړاندې کوي هغه آنلاین هم په اصطلاح د خپلو خلکو لپاره وړاندې کړي. په دغه برخه کې 2 اساسي ستونزې د موږ د رسنیو سره وي. یوه هغه د تخنیکي په اصطلاح هغه د امکاناتو نشتوالی و چې د موږ ډیری رسنۍ په اصطلاح داسې یو تخنیکي ټیم نه درلوده ترڅو دوی داسې دغه د آنلاین برخې ته زیاته پاملرنه ورکړي. یعنې دا د موږ د رسنیو هغه د کمزورۍ برخه دا وه چې دوی نسو کولی ځینې داسې کمپنیانې له ځان سره ولري ترڅو د دوی لپاره داسې ویبپاڼې جوړې کړي چې هغه ویبپاڼې په اصطلاح په هغه معیار برابر وي. متاسفانه د افغانستان په مارکیټ کې موږ ځینې داسې کمپنیانې لرو چې هغوی په $500 په $200 د یوې ورځپاڼې لپاره دوی ورته یو ویب سایټ جوړوه. اما هغه ویب سایټ کله به چې هغوی کاروه هغه به هغه تخنیکي په هغه معیار باندې برابر نه و، نو بیا به دوی مجبور وو چې یو بلې په اصطلاح کمپنۍ سره قرارداد وکړي. یعنې د دوی دغه تخنیکي کمه تجربه د دې باعث وه چې د موږ ډیری رسنۍ له ستونزو سره مخ شي. یو دویم ستونزه چې زموږ آنلاین میډیا یا رسنۍ لري هغه دا ده چې موږ دغه د آنلاین ویبپاڼو امنیت ته ډیره پاملرنه نه ده کړې. موږ په اصطلاح هغه د قوي پاسورډونه ولرو یا د هکرانو نه خپلې ویبپاڼې یا ټولنیزو شبکو پاڼې وژغورو. په دغه برخه کې موږ له کمزورۍ او مشکلاتو سره مخ وو. ما ته معلومه ده چې د موږ په ډیریو ورځپاڼو په آنلاین ویب سایټونو باندې حملې شوي دي. د موږ ټولنیزې شبکې ډیری په اصطلاح ویبپاڼې له منځه تللي. دا هغه برخه ده چې افغاني رسنۍ د دوی هغه تخنیکي ټیمونه په دغه برخه کې کمه تجربه لري. نو د ما وړاندیز دغه ډول پلیټفورمونو ته دغه ډول کنفرانسونو ته دا ده که دوی رښتیا غواړي چې افغاني رسنیو سره مرسته وکړي نو باید موږ په ګډه باندې کار وکړو. یعنې دې کې شک نشته چې د افغاني رسنیو په اصطلاح د دغه برخه کې که د تاسې مرسته له دوی سره زه باور لرم چې افغاني رسنۍ به خپل لیدونکي زیات کړي او دوی به وکولی شي هغه مطالب چې دوی لري هغه نه یوازې د پرنټ له لارې د تلویزیونو کې د خلکو د لیدونکو له لارې په رادیو کې د اوریدونکو له لارې دوی به وکولی شي چې دا په آنلاین شکل هم د خلکو لپاره وړاندې کړي. آخري خبره زه دا کوم چې زموږ رادیوګانې چې کومې دي ما چې څومره رادیوګانې تعقیب کړي دي که هغه د موږ په ملي کچه رادیوګانې دي که هغه د موږ حتی په د ولایتونو په کچه رادیوګانې دي، خوشبختانه د دوی اوس ډیری پروګرامونه آنلاین دي او دوی خپل مطالب آنلاین دي، دوی ټولې برنامې آنلاین دي. یوه ستونزه چې له دوی سره وجود لري آخري ستونزه وایم هغه دا ده چې موږ دغه د بیک اپ سیستم تاسو ته معلومه ده چې هغه د موږ سیمه ییزې رادیوګانې چې دي هغوی مالي امکانات کم لري. دغه دومره غټه ډاټا آنلاین ساتل دا د دوی لپاره په اقتصادي لحاظ ملامتونکي ثابتېږي. نو په دغه برخه کې باید په ګډه باندې کار وشي ترڅو دوی په اقتصادي لحاظ له ستونزو سره مخ نه شي.
مننه Karokhel صاحب. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Lotfullah Najafizada from Tolo News. You have 5 minutes, please. And right after the panel discussion, we will go to the question and answer session, and we will start the discussion about the freedom of expression online in the context of cybersecurity, how you can balance both. Okay, please, over to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. به نام خدا. صبح همه شما بخیر. تشکر از دعوت شما، تشکر از تمام دوستایی که امروز صبح در این جلسه تشریف آوردن. من میخوایم فقط دو سه نکته مختصر در رابطه با رسانه، در رابطه با آزادی بیان و در رابطه با آنلاین سه کلید واژه‌ای که در عنوان بحث ما و شما بهش اشاره شدم نکات چند را مطرح کنم. ما در تلویزیون خود برای خبرنگارای خود میگیم که شما هر چیزی را که به تلویزیون گفته میتونین به فیسبوک هم نشته کرده میتونین. چیزی را که به تلویزیون گفته نمیتونین به فیسبوک هم نشته کرده نمیتونین. علت این بحثی است که اخلاق کار مساوی است. اخلاق کار در رسانه، اخلاق کار در رسانه تلویزیونی، در رسانه تصویری، در رسانه آنلاین فرقی نداره. شما نمیشه که از زبان مختلف استفاده کنید در پلتفرم‌های مختلف. آزادی بیان در کشور ما و شما چارچوکاتش معلوم است، محدودیت‌هایش معلوم است، تابوهایی که ما و شما در جامعه خود هم به شکل سنتی هم به شکل غیر سنتی داریم معلوم است. بنابراین ما نمیشه که یک بام و دو هوا داشته باشیم. این نکته را من به خاطر خدمت شما اشاره کردم که اخلاق کار در استفاده آزادی بیان در رسانه ها به باور من همسان است. بنابراین اگر شما چیزی را میتونین در خانوادهتون بگوین، چیزی را میتونین در تلویزیون بگوین، در رادیو بگوین، در یک جمع بگوین، در یک سخنرانی بگوین، میتونین روی پلتفرم‌های آنلاین هم ازش استفاده کنین. ما شما میبینیم که مثلا در فضای مجازی، در فیسبوک، در توییتر چیزهایی میگیم که شاید نتونیم به یک دوست خود بگوییم، شاید نتونیم به یک میز تلویزیونی بگوییم، شاید نتونیم در یک مورد حتی به وبسایت خود نشر کنیم. یک نکته دوم بحث فرهنگ است. ما در افغانستان خوشبختانه یا بدبختانه چالش‌های زیاد فرارای آزادی بیان داریم. اکثر از اینا چالش‌های فرهنگی و سنتی است. در قانون اساسی افغانستان آزادی بیان تضمین شده، اما زمانی که شما وارد جامعه خبرنگاری میشین چالش‌های زیاد فرارای رسانه‌ها و فرارای آزادی بیان وجود داره. یک بخش از برگرفته از مسائل فرهنگی است. مثلا شما نمیتونین که در رابطه با دین بحث‌های زیاد داشته باشین. یک تابوی بسیار کلان است. مثلا شما نمیشه که در رابطه با مسائل قومی بحث‌های بسیار جدی بکنین در افغانستان، که این هم یکی از تابوهایی است که ما و شما در جامعه خود فرارای آزادی بیان داریم. نکته سوم بحث سیاسیش است. حکومت مثلا یکی دو وبسایت طالبان را فعلا بلاک کرده. تلاش میکنه که اداره استخبارات افغانستان صفحه‌های اجتماعی طالبان و گروه‌های همسو و همفکر طالبان و کسای دیگه‌ای که دیدگاه تندروانه دارن اینا را بسته کنن، که این هم میشه ما شما به عنوان نه به عنوان یک چالش، نه به عنوان یک راهکار، بلکه به عنوان یک نکته بهش اشاره کنیم که آیا این یک کار خوب است یا خیر. بحث تندروی من فکر میکنم یک بحث بسیار حساس و در این حال بسیار اساس و بنیادی هم است، چون شما میدانید که داعش امروز اکثر تشویق استخدام و ریکروتمنتش از طریق اینترنت است و این تبدیل شده به یک مشکل امنیت ملی برای اکثر کشورها و جامعه ما و شما به عنوان یک جامعه که تازه آشنایی پیدا کردیم به آزادی و آزادی بیان بسیار آسیب پذیر است. بنابراین این بحث برای ما و شما حیاتی است که روش صحبت کنیم که آیا آزادی اینترنتی برای ما و شما تندروی را بیشتر میسازه یا خیر، و راه‌های مبارزه با تندروی در خود فضای آنلاین چیست، که من فکر میکنم این هم یک سوال بسیار بنیادی و اساسی است که خوب است که اگر بحث بازتر شود ما و شما بیشتر روش صحبت کنیم و علاقه دارم دیدگاه شما را بشنوم، که من فکر میکنم این سه نکته، بحث اخلاق، بحث فرهنگ و بحث سیاست آزادی بیان در فضای آنلاین نکاتی بود که به فکر من میگشت. تشکر.
ممنون نجفی‌زاده صاحب، تشکر. I would like now invite one of our remote participant, Mr. Adli. Are you with us? Adli,
Yes, yes,
can you hear us?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I received your email that you asked for the presentation, but I apologize that we don't have enough time for the presentations. I would like to invite you for the open discussion of the cybersecurity, especially cybersecurity, multimedia and freedom of expression in the context of cybersecurity, how to balance these both.
Yeah. So first and foremost, thank you for the invitation to participate in such forum. Although I was hoping that the topic was slightly different. However, I think cybersecurity is definitely an emerging area. Particularly at APNIC, we see a lot of interest in the region on the topic. At APNIC itself, we have worked with many organizations to do capacity development efforts, training in various technical topics, and so on. So from what I can say, when you mention cybersecurity in the internet ecosystem, it means different things to different people. So for example, in this ecosystem, you have, for example, the network operators. So to the network operators, cybersecurity to them is making sure that the infrastructure is stable, scalable, and available to end users, to organizations, to users, to hospitals, and so on and so forth. Then you also have other organizations such as the law enforcement agencies, right, who are interested in finding or catching bad guys or perpetrators, people who commit cybercrime, steal money, break into system, steal data, plunder information from governments, from banks, and so on and so forth, and affect users, right? So they are also interested in cybersecurity, but they are more going after the criminals, right? And therefore, for them to be able to do this, a lot of things must be in place, like laws, cooperation by different entities, and so on and so forth. Let me pick another organization that we also work closely with, and these are policymakers. So we also go to various events to talk about cybersecurity. And from the policymakers' perspective, cybersecurity is about making sure that everybody is safe on the internet when they use the internet, right? Making sure that that organizations are aware of things like data privacy. Organizations are putting in place the necessary measures to make sure that the organization is safe and the data that it has is protected. So from that angle, I think cybersecurity, if you do not really define it clearly, what you mean by it, can mean different things to a lot of different people, right? However, we can agree that the bottom line, when it comes to cybersecurity, you need human or you need trained individuals to help secure everything that you have, that you put on the internet, right? So for instance, if I am a software developer, right, I need to be able to secure my applications or develop secure applications. If I am a network operator, I must have the skill to manage the network securely. If I am a cybersecurity manager in an organization or in an economy, I must be able to, create programs to get the word out about cybersecurity, safety, and awareness. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm just going to sum up basically, is that cybersecurity is definitely very, very important. But I think sometimes what we lose in conversations is really what do we mean when we say we want cybersecurity, right? And the last point that I want to highlight from our perspective, when we go out and help organizations to do cybersecurity, at the moment we are basically trying to build capacity or capabilities, making sure that people really understand how the internet works, what is at risk, what are you trying to protect, and of course, how to go about doing it. And this comes in a form of training, workshops, discussions, collaborations, and so on and so forth. So that's my piece. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adli. I would like to raise a question here. Before that, we all know technology, the evolution of the technology on our daily basis. We're using technology everywhere, in our offices, at home, everywhere. When we travel, we are still connected to the internet. Threats are there, okay? Threats are like, there are various types of threats that we say. One is to the data, one is to the privacy, one is to the equipment itself, to the infrastructure. With this, leaders are aware of cybersecurity issues, but do not know what to do next. That's the question. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Fayzi to enlighten a little bit. What is the issue? Leaders are aware of the cybersecurity issues and the challenges, but they don't know what to do. They're totally lost.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wafa. I would like to speak in Dari because the main audience for me is the student and all. So I hope those who are on the remote side can understand my points.
Please proceed. We have translators here.
تشکر بسیار زیاد وفا صاحب. جای بسیار افتخار است با دوستا کلگی باید دیر یادآوری کنم که این بار اول است. من فکر کنم بار اول است که در زیر یک صف 3 نفر اشخاص مشهور سایبر سکیوریتی یک جای هست و راجع به مشکلات و معلومات و چالش ها و اپورتونیتی هایی که وجود داره گپ میزنن. وفا صاحب از بزرگای سایبر سکیوریتی افغانستان هستن. افتخار داریم که ورسجی صاحب هم هستن اینجا. امروز میدیا رو با خود داریم. یک سری چالش ها و مشکلات به میدیا هم هست. امیدوار بودم که از دولت کسای بزرگ می آمدن که اینا کم دیدشان باستر میشن نسبت به مسائل و چالش های سایبر سکیوریتی. پس بیایم در سوالی که وفا صاحب کردن. ما یک ریسرچ کردیم سر هیومن ساید سایبر سکیوریتی. How to work and how to secure the human OS. ما human OS میگیم کسایی که در سایبر سکیوریتی فکرشان چطور به حساب سکیوریتی ریز کنیم از نظر انجینیرینگ، از نظر پابلیک یوزرها اویرنس بالا ببریم و در همین حال چطور امرای تاپ دیسیژن میکر کسایی که چک ساینراست کار کنیم تا بتانیم ضرورت اپرووالش گرفته و بجد مورد ضرورت بگیریم و تا جایی که هیستوری نشان میده کم سکسسفول بودیم. ناشدار شد ساختیم. یک هفته پیش یک هیستوری داشتیم که یک چیز ناشده ما تونستیم شد بسازیم. بر صورت ضرورت به این است تا ما اویرنس در سطح دولت، در سطح منیجمنت به حالت به وجود بیاریم که اینا خودشان ضرورت احساس کنند. ما یک مثال براتون میدم حساب تکنیکیش. سعی کنین قبلا من در جای کار میکردم بسیار مشکل بود که تا ما میتونستیم بجد سکیوریتی را از منیجمنت بگیریم چون پریوریتی منیجمنت سر دیگه چیزا بود. ما کاری که کردیم بود که امرای منیجمنت کار کردیم، امو سکیوریتی هیومن اویس امرای منتالیتیشان کار کردیم. ما یک تیم وظیفه دادم گفتم شما سرچ کنین ویکلی بیس مگزین جور کنین. تمام تریتا و مشکلات سایبر سکیوریتی که در دنیا در ظرف یک هفته جور میشه به اساس خور منیجمنت، به اساس همون دید منیجمنت، به اساس دید کلانایی را تهیه بسازین و هر هفته بر تمام تاپ منیجمنت روان میکنن. نتیجه چی بود که 6 ماه بعد یا در طول 8 ماه بعد ما تونستیم که یک بجد بسیار کلان اپرووال بگیریم چرا که مایندستشان آماده شده بود برای از او که قبول کنه. ضرورت هی است که ما اصلا طرف سکیوریتی باید امرای منیجمنت خود چی در داخل افغانستان و چی در بیرونی در هر جای یک مشکل عمده است کار کنیم و اونا را حالت اویرنسشون به یک سرحد بیاریم که بتانن به اصطلاح امی حزمیت موضوع را داشته باشن و قبول کنن کال سایبر سکیوریتی یا سکیور سرفینگ اینترنت ضرورت است و باید متوجهش باشن. خوشبختانه در سال 2015 و بعد یا 2014 و بعد یا بعد از مشکلات امنیتی که در انتخابات امریکا پیدا شد این موضوع یک موضوع حاد شده، موضوع شده که کلگی متوجهش است و ما امیدوار هستیم که دولت افغانستان پیش از اینکه در طرف ای ووتینگ یا دیگه مسائل برای سر از این موضوع باید فکر کنه جدا و متوجه باشه، به خاطر که امریکا وقتی که نتونه چالش داشته باشه در باشه افغانستان ما میتونیم کلاگاتن بسیار بسوادم بیاریم و ما بتونیم برای رئیس جمهور یا وکیل یا دیگه چیکار کنیم، چون تغییرات در داخل دیگه امکانش بسیار زیاد است.
تشکر از there is significant lag time between data breaches. Attacks are happening on government infrastructure. Mr. Sier, I would like to give this question to you, if you have a few words.
تشکر بسیار زیاد آقای وفا. بالاخره هم شما ملاقات کردیم. نام احمد سیرزی است. از شورای امنیت ملی آمدم. راستش اولا با گفته های آقای فهیم موافق هستیم و دوستم از تلویزیون تولو آمدن با این هم موافق هستیم. awareness و هم آگاهی چیزی است که از شروع تا آخر و امروز هم اگر که من در لپتاپ خود چیزی را پرزنت میکردم و یک چیزی را نشان میدادم در مورد آگاهی بود، به خاطر که دو رقم موضوع را بحث کردن است. یکی صرف تصور میکنین که درست نمیت یک چیز است، کلگی میفهمم، اما یکی بالای اسناد و چالش های روزمره که ما روبروی هستیم از نگاه از او گپ میزنیم. یک انالیسیس یا ارزیابی که میشه بر اساس 4 چیز میشه، چیزایی که روزمره همیشه در دولت ها کار میشه: دیپلماسی، معلومات یا انفورمیشن، میلیتری، نظامی هایشان و بالاخره هم اکانومیکس. این قانون دایم یا دیپلماسی، انفورمیشن، میلیتری، اکانومیکس، اینا 4 قانونی هست که وقتی که اگر ارزیابی رو میکنیم اینا رو در نظر میگیریم به خاطر که اندیکیترها و تمام مسائل بفهمیم. من این فکر میکنم که شاید تا 5 سال یا 10 سال بعدی ما یک چیز داشته باشیم دایم جمع سی، یعنی سایبر اسپیس، و در اونجا همه چیز خواهد بود. میدیا می باشه، سایبر اسپیس می باشه. سوال هر چقدر که بگرده و بچرخه فرق نمیکنه، در آخر در موضوع اویرنس است. 46.4% مردم افغانستان نظر به کتاب CIA که هر سال چاپ میکنه باسواد هستن. البته باسواد حداقل نوشته و خوانده میتونن، اینا ما بازم باسواد میگیم، در مکتب صنف 12 یا صنف 9 صنف 8 هر چی که هستن. یعنی 46.4% مردم ما، مگم 19 میلیون مردم ما در افغانستان GSM استفاده میکنن. این اگر بگیرین بیشتر از 70% نفوس افغانستان با تکنولوژی سر و کار داره. سوال اومده ای است که اگر 70% و 46.4% این منفی کنین 23.6% را که ما داریم، آیا اونمو 23.6% مردم vulnerable نیستن به خاطر که بیسواد هستن؟ و سایبر سکیوریتی کسایی که باسواد هستن با سایبر سکیوریتی و سایبر اسپیس vulnerable هستن. یعنی وفاصل 1 دقیقه وقت میگیرم.
من در لابلای صحبتاش با ما یک سوال داشتم.
بفهمم.
من میرم میگم که ما شما بر ما بریچ میاد، دیتا بریچ میاد، درست؟ ولی خود ما این اعلان نمیکنیم. یک اداره که بیخی از یک جای دیگه از یک ملک دیگه سود اخبار خود تیر میکنه که در افغانستان اینقدر کامپیوترهای از یا فرضاً انفکتد هستن که ویروس ها و یا اینقدر دیتا از یا بریچ شده، درست؟ حکومت با وجود از اینکه میفهمه چرا تصمیم نمیگیره؟ ما شما خود دو اپروچ داریم در چیز، یکی باتم اپ داریم، یکی تاپ داون اپروچ داریم، درست است؟ کدام ازی باید انتخاب شود که حکومت بیدار شود؟
چیز را به نام در دنیای استخباراتی بسیار زیاد یک چیز عام است به نام منافع بالانس، یعنی بالانس کردن در منافع استراتژیک میگن، یعنی counter balancing strategic equities. اگر من امروز در مورد پاکستان یک خبر پیدا میکنم که فکر کنین در وزارت معارف پاکستان 10 دانه vulnerability در وبسایتش هست، یک لحظه صبر نمیکنم، این راجل در میدیا پخش میکنم که پاکستان وزارت معارفش 10 دانه مشکلات داره، درست؟ به خاطر که این کانتر بالانسینگ استراتژی که کوتی اما منافع ما را بالا میبره. یک و باتم از بالا به طرف پایین، از طرف پایین به طرف بالا رفتن. یک چیز در نظر باید بگیریم. ببینیم ما بعضی وبسایت ها داریم میره کلگیتان خوبتر میفهمین و میخوانین. هم فیسبوک هم از دوستم از تلویزیون طلو، ببخشید اسم شما هم رفت، آقای لطفالله بسیار یک چیز نقطه خوب گپ زدن. گفتن که اخلاق کار. ببینین یک نفر نمیفهم که منافعش چی خواد بوده ای کار، میگیره یک سند راپور 300 نفر کنده که اردوی ملی در یک سایت پخش میکنه. آیا سایبر اسپیس هست؟ بله سایبر اسپیس هست. آیا در میدیا هست؟ بله میدیا هست. درست؟ اما عین خبر داعش هم میخوانه و ما بیشتر از صدها هزارها نفر خود معلومات شده وبسایت میمانیم به نام فریدم آف میدیا و چند روز بعد در خبر پس دوباره اعلان میکنیم که این نفر ما را داعش کشت. حالا شما از باتم تو د اپ برین، از اپ تو د باتم برین، به هر حالتی که برین، اگر این پارامترها را متوجه نباشین متوقع به این باشین که هر روز ما کژوالتیز میدیم.
تشکر آقای زیاد. تشکر. Mr. Ahmadi mentioned internet is tool for freedom of expression, okay? And while using technology for journalism, we have certain things. One is the freedom of expression, and one is respect to the religious and cultural values of the country. How to balance this, Mr. Wasaji?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so much, Mr. Wafa. I have some comments before answering to your question. I have heard the talks of the panelists here and also the remote participant, Mr. Adli. The term cybersecurity is actually a very broad term. It is actually inherently a political term. It's a political concept. It cannot be defined or explained in technical terms only. Cybersecurity, the goals of cybersecurity, in agreement with Mr. Adli, and also as I have seen here, the panelists here, the goals of cybersecurity differs to every community. For example, for human rights activists, it is all about freedom of expression, or for media, it is about freedom of expression, freedom of ideas, expressing ideas. And for other people, it means securing or protecting the critical government infrastructure. So the human rights activists, they do not talk about protecting the critical government infrastructure. They talk only about their own matters. And for some people, some other communities, the cybersecurity means protecting the regime from political decline and from criticism. So if I speak now briefly about what's going on globally or in global cyberspace or in Afghan cyberspace, there can be no less than 3 activities that are going on. Number one is the cybercrime. We are facing cybercrime activities in the cyberspace. And there are a lot of victims of cybercrime in the cyberspace. I will not say internet only, because internet is one major part of the cyberspace, and anything that is connected but not connected to the internet. For example, they are connected between themselves but not with the internet. They are also part of the cyberspace. So there are many systems, people, individuals. They are victims of the cybercrime. The second thing is the cyber hacktivism. People do it for political purposes. As Mr. Najafizada said about the Taliban and Daesh, their websites, there are external actors that are supporting them to hack into the government systems, extract the information, and they use it for their own purposes, political purposes. So the third is the espionage. When we see that the theft of the intellectual property, one company works for years to build something, to develop something, and the other company in just a couple of weeks steals that information and uses for their own purposes. So this is the third thing that is going on in the cyberspace. The fourth one is the cyber warfare. Like if you have heard of Stuxnet, and Stuxnet like malware that infected the Iranian cyber centrifuge, the nuclear centrifuges, it was used by one of the countries to attack the nuclear centrifuges there. So these four things, which is the cybercrime, cyber hacktivism, cyber espionage, and cyber warfare that is going on in the cyberspace. Now, the same issues are going on in Afghanistan cyberspace, but Afghanistan is not directly involved in cyber attacks and cyber warfare, because there are many issues when it comes to the cybersecurity capabilities in Afghanistan. But Afghanistan, the systems in Afghanistan have become the proxies for cyber attacks in different parts of the world. For example, in 2012, there was an attack over Israeli systems. In Afghanistan systems, even the users didn't know, but the systems participated in the attacks. And also the bandwidth that month was very, there were bandwidth problems, and it was affected. The bandwidth was affected here, but the users didn't know, but the systems were participating as zombie agents to attack the servers in Israel. So there are external agents, as I said, that are investing in external agents like intelligence agencies. They are investing in Afghanistan, and you can see the pirated CDs. Everybody knows about the pirated software in Afghanistan. If you install those software, you will use it, but what that software is going to do at the back end, the user will not know about it, but it will serve the person that is the intelligence agency or whatever. It will serve the actor.
Thank you. Thank you, Sajid Saib. I'll get back to you.
No, I'm sorry, just coming back to the question that you said about the...
Yes, I was expecting that. Yeah.
Yes. The religious, there is a difference between freedom of expression and insult. So we see online, people talk about cybersecurity and like a child online protection of expression, freedom of expression, and many other things. But if we see from the religious perspective, a Muslim is not a good Muslim if he does not believe in the scripture. He is not a good Muslim if he does not love the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. If we see Wikipedia, if we see YouTube, if we see others, they have posted images of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I was just looking into it on the first day of the IGF, that there is a picture that they associated with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in Wikipedia. And I wanted to do a peaceful protest and file my case in the IGF for this, so that it should be removed, because if we respect others, so we should respect the religion as well.
Thank you. Thank you, what Sajid said. Earlier, Mr. Karokhel mentioned about the website security, that they are not secure while having all their contents over the web. What is the government doing here? And plus, Mr. Asi mentioned that we are moving forward towards electronic voting. How confident the government is that we will be safe?
Thank you very much. Shall I come up with your name that I search whenever the websites are registered by your name? Because you are the one in the MCIT, right? Mr. Zumarai Wafa, right? Sir, you know much better than me that what type of protection systems are we using in MCIT. Mr. Imal Marjan was not here. I hope he was here. We could have some discussions about this. Unfortunately, See, something bad happened to this country, and what happened is that when technology came into Afghanistan, we were very excited. Okay, we have fiber optic, we have this type of cabling system, we have this network protocols and everything like that. So we were very happy, and then we brought in everything, without thinking that maybe 10 years later we will face something called cybersecurity problems, unfortunately. And we admit this. We don't say that, no, we're the best. We're not the best, because my friend here, he said that if America is not safe, then definitely Afghanistan is never safe. And that is true. And we're on the same page about the problem that cyberspace is a very broad term, and it's about a huge concept we're talking here. And coming to the point of the e-government or e-voting or whatever is starting with E, still we are not probably ready. But that doesn't mean that we cannot initiate something or we will not be ready forever. All we have to do is, before attempting to deploy a system anywhere in the country, first we have to make sure that people who are dealing with this system, they're very well aware of what they're doing. If they're aware of what they're doing, we don't have any problem. Because let me tell you this way, espionage, as my friend here, Mr. Zubair said, espionage is something that 90% of espionage is based on human psychology most of the time, which is done social engineering. And unfortunately, as I said before, we're having literacy and illiteracy problems. That means that if we're deploying e-government or e-voting or whatever, as I said, starting with E, then again we will have something like this, that people will face the unknown things that they don't know, and they're dealing with this, and they're voting for something they shouldn't do, right? So awareness is first. And as this conference, I am being a part of the government, I'm suggesting this. Let's make a way to peacefully aware people as much as we can. When we do this, believe me that deploying the systems technically is not a problem, because we have enough people to do this, and doesn't matter who says what. But we already have our capacity, we have built our capacity, and all we have to do is make sure people are very well aware of this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry, I have another meeting to join, so
Please.
I'll ask your permission for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you. I'm sorry
participating.
that.
Yeah, please. The government drafted its cybersecurity strategy, the national cybersecurity strategy, back in 2014. That strategy was followed by a 5-year plan for cybersecurity. It is still sitting there in the government. Mr. Asi, what could be the problems within the government that this is not like, it's not being spread, it's not being published?
Before coming here, I was talking with Mr. Usaji that how should we speak clearly, or should we hide something? Because in the security,
Freedom of expression.
Because in the security, there is no in between. So you need to, there's two ways. You need to hide the issues, or go on and explore whatever is there. Before answering your question, Mr. Wafa, I wish Mr. Sadat was here, or somebody who is responsible for lots of other things. I want to talk very honestly. We were doing good in cybersecurity in the past government. There was a good team in the MCIT, and things were going to be handled soon. But suddenly, when the government changed and things come up, unfortunately, the cybersecurity department in MCIT somehow got dissolved. I don't know, but maybe they have some justification. But as a cybersecurity engineer, I think it was a wrong approach, and we this need another discussion with the government, how we are going to solve the manpower side of this this scenario, because I don't agree with Mr. Seer. In Afghanistan, we have very few cyber security engineer who knows the system, you know, who knows how to have the theory, make it to the policy, and apply it to the system. There's a difference. Knowing the theory is something different, knowing the policy is something different, and applying it to the technology is different. You need to have some sorts of stuff.
60 seconds, please, because I have audience as well. I need to add the question.
See, the policy which we are talking about, that is something which is which we need to make some sorts of grounding, because the grounding and the needed, I mean, assurance and supports are not there. When you do not have the support from the top management, how you are going to pass a law? Who is going to talk about? Who is going to analyze this? And who is going to apply these stuff? Laws need for enforcement. We don't have any sorts of enforcement in Afghanistan. Laws need, I mean, investigator. Do we have any investigator in Afghanistan? No. Investigator need judge. Do we have judge there? There are lots of grounding missing that we need to work around that, and I'm sure things are there. If you allow me, I just wanna add. I'm here I wish you can allow me that I do have a solution here. I brought up some.
I wish I had enough time. I apologize for that.
But I'm going there. In the website issues, the website, the government, the website within the government domain, these are the most unsecure platform within the region. There are lots of issues, but the solution, how we are going to handle this. This is the first time I'm hearing from the media that we do have issues over the websites. See, as security engineers in Afghanistan, as I told you before, is few. But as one of them, it's my first time that somebody is coming and tell me that we do have security issue. I don't want to, you know, advertise my company. You know, we are doing secure web hosting in our site. Whenever we are going to tell this to our customer, the customer itself is rejecting. But there is solution within the Afghanistan, within the Afghan manpower. But what we need is their I mean approach towards. Then we can have solution. Backup. Yes, of course, there are a couple of company, I mean, providing some sorts of backup. What we need is a cooperation of the government, some sorts of subsidies and all these stuff, so that we can go there.
Yeah,
the extremist issue, Mr. Wafa, I want to talk about this, the extremist issue. I want to talk in that. دوستا فراموش نکنین که تعداد گراف جرایم یا ریکروت کردن اکستریمیستی ها یا افراطگراها در افغانستان از طریق واتساپ یا از طریق دیگه چیزا کم است. دلیل نیست که اون نقاطی که از نظر جذب افراطگرایی به حساب خلای داره اونجا بسیار امکانات زیاد اینترنت نیست. در باره باید ما وضاحت داشته باشیم. واتساپ و دیگه چیزایی که اطلاع شده در جنگ عراق و دیگه جایا ای زیادتر ریکروتمنت از اروپا بوده و جای دیگه بوده که از طریق اونجا استفاده تکنولوژی بسیار زیاد بوده، یعنی اینترنت اویلیبیلیتی
بس بر بگردم طرف شما. ما باید طرف آدینس هم برم که اونا هم سوالات خود دارن. یادتان باشه پس میم طرف شما. I have a question for Mr. Najafizada. You have two reports on your table. One is talking about the burglary happened in one of those streets in maybe in Taimani, let's put it this way. And the other report talks about the huge data breach of the government and personal information. And you only have the option of one report to publish. Which one would you select?
I think it's I'll give one to Pajhwok to publish and I'll publish one. So
oh, that's a smart move.
I mean, editorial decision is always complicated because you have there are days that we cannot cover stories where several people, are either killed or wounded. It's just because of how limited time and resources we have. But your question is more about if I just twist it a little bit, our knowledge about cybersecurity, cyberspace is limited in our newsrooms, first. Second, the knowledge and awareness of our audience are limited. So based on these two reasons, I would say the priority, your story idea would go further down in the list of priorities in any newsroom, unless you attach some sort of a national interest, such as elections, such as e-voting, around it to make it relevant. Otherwise, I would say it's not going to attract a lot of attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I would like to go to the audience. Do you have any question? Sawal Chizdar, Mr.
As always, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Once again, it's Azizi from AUAF. Mr. Wasaji, thank you very much for your very nice information. The first thing, when I was here with Mr. Ansari and Merlin on night before IGF, we talked about this black hole that you just mentioned that Israel was attacked. So what was your approach to this problem? One. Second, that's a good thing that you're sharing that we are protesting for that thing through IGF, and we learned this. Thank you for that. Okay, that gentleman who just left, I didn't like his posture by doing this to E, because we have done a lot of things there, and the achievements needs to be appreciated than making fun of. Mr. Najafizada, you're saying that due to lack of resources, lack of time, you're not publishing most of the news. Of course, you're leaving some things unturned. But I'm always seeing Tolo, and I always find funny things on there. Instead of showing something positive, and instead of showing the municipality, this is also coming in cybercrime, because media is also connected to cyber. So instead of showing that our municipality guys are doing very good, you're showing Ariana Said and that blah, blah, blah things, and their shoes and all those things. And Mr. Asif from Netlinks, right? So instead of promoting your company, I would have been very happy to have technical solutions for that instead of saying that we have done this and that. And also one thing else that I'm saying, government is an entity who is serving us, and we are the one who is helping them. So if we are saying that government has to do everything, then why are you getting paid for? So you're doing a company, and in that company, have you done some awareness to the people? No. Like I was in India, and the people, the experts were coming to the university guys, and they were giving workshops on cybersecurity specifically. So if you do that voluntarily and not get paid for, so I think a change will be on our way. Thank you very much.
So you had two questions, yeah, three questions. Mr. Najafizada, over to you first. You don't have any answer for?
Well, media is also about entertainment. I mean, you and I might not be interested in it. I'm a news guy. I mean, you're probably a politician, but there are a lot of people who are interested in entertainment. So that is probably the reason behind a lot of entertainment content we produce. But let me remind you, in every 24 hours in this country, Afghan media, all of us, not only Tolo, we produce 200 hours of political content, enough for you to watch as much as you can. Some of them are very pro-government. Some of them are very positive. So the Afghan people are given the option of watching the good, watching the bad, watching the funny, watching the ugly. It's for the people to decide.
Thank you. Wasaji?
Yes, thank you for your question. During the time when the attacks were going on in Afghanistan, systems were the proxies during that attack, I was watching and generating a report for myself. But this problem is not a problem that that is fixed through an approach that I take. It is a national problem. There are different internet gateways in Afghanistan. People connect through satellites. The end users and nodes are not known. So many systems, the users are using pirated software. There is no control on pirated software. So everybody is connected. Even the pirated softwares were creating VPN tunnels through some other servers internationally and conducting the attacks. So this way, the only thing that I was doing is I was watching it all. I was busy with that for the last for 1 week. In 1 week, I generated a report. I wrote something about that, and it is something that we have to work together to fix it.
Thank you. Thank you. I can only take 2 questions.
I want to reply, Mr. Azizi. Thank you, Mr. Azizi. First of all, I'm here on behalf of Netlinks. If you see the agenda, what I have done, I'm just telling you briefly. I have done more than 5 big researches for NATO, the one who is funding this government. Right now, Netlinks itself is doing some huge project with the military side. I just mentioned that last week, in this week, we had a very big achievement that we convinced our counterpart to put a huge investment on cybersecurity, and this is number 2. Number 3, I have a web page and Facebook. It says CyberEyes. Go and check there. CyberEyes, as it is part of securing the human voice. Whenever I am free, and I'm doing lots of research and writing for EC Council University, I always publish my findings in that site. So go there, check that part as well.
Thank you, Mr.
And this is not my first time I'm here. It has been quite a couple of times, which I was, giving awareness and working with the governments. Today, I have a 10 years roadmap with myself, but unfortunately, it's not giving me. If allow me, if I can present this one, it is a 10 years. It's a 10 years plan for the government, for educational sector. Okay, that. There's lots of opportunity for all of these stuff. Yeah, so before quoting anything, make sure that you know what's going on. This is good. Thank you. Because
we'll get back to you, Mr. Assi, and I'll make sure to have another session maybe in the future with the whole day cybersecurity. Now we realize that 60 minutes or 90 minutes, that's not enough for us. I would like to give the mic to Mr. Yari. He has something to say. We only have 2 minutes, Mr. Yari.
2 minutes will be not enough. I request for some more time because some of the questions, very, very important questions, even in comparison to other with the sessions. So, ما میخوایم که بری صحبت کنم. میخوایم سر 3 نقطه گپ بزنیم. یکی که امی سشن هم در مورد ازی بود که معلومات، ارائه معلومات، دسترسی به معلومات، تبادله معلومات یک حق بشری است. واقعا حق بشری است. ولی اگر ما مکس کنیم سر حق، هر حق توسط 3 عنصر مشخص میشه. یکی که ضرورت. هر حقی که مبنا به یک ضرورت نباشه، چی در منحصر به یک فرد، چی جامعه و یا یک نهاد، او حقی کامل شمرده نمیشه. اولی که ما هر حق را مطرح میکنیم و یا میخوایم به او برسیم یا نایل شویم، ضرورت یزی بسیار جنبه بسیار مهم است. موضوع دوم مفیدیت یا نفس. هر کس اگر حق شخصی باشه یا اجتماعی، اگر مبنایش به منفعت نباشه، اگر یک شخص از اون منفعت نمیبره، یک جامعه از اون منفعت نمیبره، و حق کامل شمرده نمیشه. مسئله سوم مسئله قانونیت است. هر حق مبتنی به یک قانون است. اگر ای در سطح خانواده ببینیم، جامعه ببینیم و یک کشور ببینیم، حق تعریفش، حمایتش مبنای قانونی داره و در چارچوب‌های افغانستان چی در ارتباط میدیا چی در ارتباط سایبر این حقوق امیسی عنصر باید داشته باشن. مسئله دیگه است که هرگاه یک کسی میخواه که از این حقوق استفاده کنه بالانس بین اینمی عناصر بسیار شرط است که او را ببینه. به خاطر اینکه اگر ما قانون فکر کنیم قوانین در کشور در جوامعی که بسیار عقب مانده هستند قوانین زیاد می باشه و قوانین بسیار ابعاد مغلق می داشته باشه. در کشورهایی که پیشرفته است تمدن پیش است بشریت پیش است در اوج قوانین کم است. چرا؟ بسیاری مسئولیت پذیری ها از سطح قوانین به سطح فرهنگ رشد کرده. اگر فرهنگ رشد کنه بر قوانین زیاد ضرورت نیست. احساس مسئولیت در ارتباط با همین عناصری که ما مطرح کردم مرتبط به پیشرفت یک جامعه است، پیشرفت تمدن در همون جامعه است. وقتی که ما از اخلاق گپ میزنیم، باورها گپ میزنیم، قابلیت ها گپ میزنیم، اینا همش جزء فرهنگ میشه. وقتی که یک ژورنالیست میخواد که از همین حقوقش به نفع فردی به نفع اجتماعی استفاده کنه بالانس بین اینمی عناصر بسیار مهم است. و هرگاه قوانین جور میشه پالیسی های جور میشه برای کسی که صلاحیت داره اگر این بالانس در نظر نگیره باز هم ما نمیتونیم که چارچوب بسیار محدود قوانین را به یک سطحی ببریم که دوجه اصلا نیاز به او قوانین هم شاید نباشه. موضوع دوم میخوایم که مطرح کنیم که نشنل سکیوریتی امنیت. هرگاه ما از امنیت فردی گپ میزنیم از امنیت کشور و از امنیت جامعه تقریبا با ابعادش تفاوت میکنه. یک فرد اگر جامعهش مسئول نباشه محیطش مسئول نباشه او مسئول نیست. اگر یک جامعه یک نهاد امنیت ماحولش و کشور مسئول نباشه او امنیت نیست. این با هم دیگه یک ارتباط داره. ما بسیار خوش بودم که نماینده شورای امنیت همینجا می بود. از پیشان تقاضا هم کرد که باید می بود و شاید ارتباط هم داشته باشه از لحاظ وظیفه‌ای با همکار ما و شما. ولی متاسفانه از موضوعات بسیار مهم و ضرورت هایی که اینا باید دیتکت کنه او را پیدا کنه و بالاخره رای حل هایش پیدا کنه. اما متاسفانه من نمیفهم مصروفیت داشت که رفت.
یاری موضوع زیاد بخنه غواړم موږ سشن نیم ساعت کېږي چې خلاص شوی ده خو بیا هم دا د ادامه پیدا کړه بل سشن را روان ده.
فقط میخوایم خلاص میکنم که در دیگه کشورها برای سایبر سکیوریتی برای امنیت نه تنها پالیسی ها و استراتژی های بسیار دقیق وجود داره و لازم است بلکه ساختارهای هم وجود داره. متاسفانه در افغانستان این یک خلای بسیار بزرگ است که نه استراتژی ملی در ارتباط با موضوعات خصوصا مهم تکنیک و تکنولوژی و سایبر وجود نداره و نه پالیسی ملی وجود داره. اگر کسی داره بفرمایید مسند برای ما پیش کنه. دومی که ساختارهای معین که در دیگه کشورها وجود داره و حتی شروع میشه شورای امنیت و ساختارهای بسیار دقیقی وجود داره که بتونه این محیط را مساعد کنه. اگر کسی سراغ داره برای ما بگوید. موضوعی که سوم میخوایم زیاد گپ نمیزنم اگر در آینده امکانات مساعد شد حاضر هستم که در این مورد بسیار هم توضیحات بدم و هم تشریح. کار مشترک در هر جای امنیت و مسئولیت هم از لحاظ سایبر در چوکات سایبر و هم دیگه صرف وظیفه یک طرف نیست که ما بگوییم دولت هم مسئولیت داره. بدون یک مشارکت عامه به شمول سکتور خصوصی و دولت این کار ممکن نیست. ما فقط پیشنهاد میکنم که یک چیز بسیار مهمه در اونجا مطرح شد که افغانستان یگان وقت بجایزی که مسئولیت کامل نداره حتی زیربناهایش حتی منابعش به حیث تهدیدات پراکسی استفاده میشه. یک مسئله من بسیار تشکر میکنم از شما بسیار موضوع مهم را چیز کردیم و در اینجا اگر سکتور خصوصی باشه جمله اخیر اگر کسی سکتور خصوصی باشه ما در آینده با کمپانی ها و خصوصا عرضه کنندگان خدمات اینترنتی و مخابراتی این موضوع را تعقیب خواهد کردیم که متاسفانه بنا به عدم توجه حتی سکتور خصوصی و دولتی این کار افغانستان را بسیار آسیب پذیر می سازد. تشکر.
Manana Yarisab, I'm sorry we don't have time for your questions, but definitely we can receive your question through email, and we will get back to you to your answers, and I'll make sure that we copy all the panelists here. To sum up the session, I would like to say cybersecurity, one of the most important component of the technology or the ecosystem of the internet. It is a vital key for journalism, for education, for businesses, for the government. The government, the private sector, the communities like ISOC Afghanistan and other ICT communities should work together in order to come up with reasonable, good and affordable sort of procedures and policies for the government in order to secure data and in order to secure the infrastructure. I would like to thank you all for attending the session today, and our remote participant, Adli. Thank you very much, Adli, for your time and dedication.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you. Mamnoon.